Aloha, I'm Felicia Miller Johnson, and I conduct work life video interviews with career professionals that become an all intuitive conversation. Aloha, welcome to another week of All Intuitive Conversation. So today I get to connect with Jocelyn Arroyo-Yount. I love her last name. Let's bring her to the stage. Aloha, Jocelyn.
Hey,
How are you, lady?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I am doing well. It is great to connect with you. I'm excited because you are sort of in a so I always feel like that's going to be an amazing conversation.
Yeah.
So, but the very first question that comes to my mind is, where are you calling me from? Where are you logging in at?
I live in Ashland, Kentucky. So I'm kind of in the country right now.
Okay, so I'm in Little Rock, Arkansas. So, are you from Kentucky?
No, I'm not originally from Kentucky. I'm originally from this little city called Lorain, Ohio, which is probably about 30, 40 minutes outside of Cleveland.
Okay.
And I have just kind of like traveled, been a gypsy for a while until I met my wife, and then in Ashlands, and then from there I've been here for about 5 years, 5 6 years. So,
Okay, so I am definitely already intrigued because you used the word gypsy. Tell me more, please.
well, so truth be told, I didn't finish college. I kind of was like, I need to get out. So, and I got really like restless. So I left with my best friends and we lived in West Virginia for a little bit. And then I moved to Virginia. And then it was just kind of back and forth between West Virginia, Virginia, and back home. And the last time I lived in West Virginia, I was there for about 4 years, and then met my wife in Ashlands, and then from there it was kind of just history. We've just been here ever since.
Okay, well, I can so relate to that in the sense of I grew up with a military background. So, like, every, 4 years, we were kind of moving around and going to new places. So, it sounds like you're just basically a free spirit and just wanting to go.
Yeah, that I would like to say that. I'd like to believe that.
Yes, absolutely, for sure. Okay, so then right now, tell me, what does a day look like for Jocelyn in Kentucky?
Uh, Jocelyn wakes up and take care of the dog. Walk the dogs in the morning, take care of the animals, the cats, and then I go and I get my self care on in the morning. I do a little bit of yoga, prayer, meditation, really kind of just get my day going on a very high vibe and focusing on flowing and intention. And then from there, it's kind of just like what is going on for the day. It could be like talking to other um, clients. It could be connecting here on LinkedIn. It could be, creating like program. It could be like creating a program or like, being in the flow of like intuitively, like um, being called to like share a message of some sort. It's really just all about like, I guess, just like I always ask to like take me where I need to go, as far as I need to go, like feeling like in a soul mission of just like being this lighthouse in the world, like helping other people, trying to come back home to their own light. I feel like that's important because the world is kind of like it's kind of a hot mess right now, and we need as many lighthouses, and we need as many people really remembering who they are, waking up to who they are, coming back home to they are, and really just expressing their own light, and that's with being like in like stuff that they love doing, like
Yeah.
and they have joy in doing what they're doing, if they find peace in that, if they love, and just letting that come out into the world. I think there's a lot of people who are, especially because I'm a woman and I relate to this, being afraid to like put your voice out there in the world, afraid to like shine your own light, because of blocks or stories or trauma and things that like stop you from these things that stop you from doing that. And so that's kind of why I always feel called to do that in my path as a healer, in my path as a light worker myself. So that's
Hmm.
kind of where
Well,
I'm at.
well, it's interesting because it showed up right here because like right away it came out with this whole like strategy. And what that was that like when you first were talking about, okay, I was going to go to college and decide I'm going to do something different, didn't finish that. You literally decided I'm going to walk away from this. I'm going to go open up this whole new life, this whole new world, which she
Mhm.
kept, saying today about that. So it's like, okay. And even when you were talking about like the light worker, because I was like, okay, yes, I see the light, the joy, like you have this whole journey to go and help and connect with others. So then there was this one card also that kind of came up, which is interesting because there's like all these different doors. What is that
Mhm.
behind you? The red thing.
It is it's really, if you it's hard to see. It's
Uh-huh.
like a decoration, but it's like the like a I don't know how to explain it. It's like the headboard of like a bed, but it's not a bed. It's like they
Uh-huh.
turned it into like this interior thing behind me. So
Okay, because it stood out like right, well, because red is my favorite color, so it stood out like right away for me. But the whole archway and it just looked like the whole door of this opportunity, because that's what I thought it was like some type of door. And so then that was the other card that came out was another picture with all of these doors, and it talks
mhm.
about adjacent um, possibilities. So the question that I have for you is that what is the possibilities with people working with you as a coach?
Like what? Like
Like when
clarify.
your client, yeah, when your clients work with you, what possibilities are available to them? What doors can be open having received coaching with you?
Well, the biggest thing is um, my mission is like to, and it's more focused geared towards women because I'm a woman, and because of my healing story, my story that I'm working through is
Hmm.
I know that's other people's stories too.
Hmm.
So it's really about like helping people, like working, doing sacred shadow work is what I call it. And it's really like going deep in this beautiful sacred way,
Mm.
peeling back layers and looking at like the stories, looking at the things that like stop you from really like moving forward in your life, from really like having this like balance in your life of I don't know how to explain it, of like, of just the things that used to like affect you that they don't anymore. You have a voice. You can
Hmm.
express your joy. You can express like your gifts that you have. You can be that light yourself. And it's really about dismantling those things. It's really, and when you do that, when you look at that, those stories, when you look at that stuff within you, you get to thank that part of yourself because it was a lesson. And once you thank that and you really kind of face that, and you look at that part of yourself and with love and with compassion, and then you can say, okay, like, that's a part of who I am, and I'm aware of that now, I'm conscious of that now. And
Mm,
and in a way, because you're healing that aspect, because you're looking at that and realizing that that story has been a part of you. It doesn't have to have, you don't have to allow it to have power over you anymore. So it allows women or people to empower yourself, um,
mm-hmm.
to be able to, like, to be the best, most brightest, most beautiful version of yourself that that you feel called, like your soul song within you, to be able to express within you. So
Jocelyn, that's amazing. And so it even showed up because it was like when you were talking about the world and the shadow work. So I was like, oh, so this is that other side because it's like it's dark and it's at night in the shadow, but you don't see her face. But then the way I had it laid out here is that the other one, which was reflective of you when you were talking about college and kind of walking away, was that next to this one, it was like she was looking back at this, okay, the shadow side. Like,
yeah,
yes, I am light, but I know that there's this other part of me as a woman that I want to kind of deal with.
yeah.
And so you were saying that it was something that you were also actively dealing with yourself or whatever. So tell us a little bit more about what is the shadow work for you? Like how do you go through the steps in order to deal with that?
Um, so so for me, in my own personal life,
Hmm.
um, I if something comes up, like if something triggers me, or something causes like me to have a reaction, to like an emotional reaction, or like in my body it feels like there's like this tightness going on. Um,
Hmm.
those are, I look at those as opportunities to be able to explore, like, why did you react this way? Like, why are you feeling this? Like, let's stop for a second. And a lot of times people get very like, they get very on the go, or they
Hmm.
get very like, they're in the day-to-day things, and so it's really hard to, that it's, there's an aspect of like recognizing that you're being triggered, recognizing that like there's this moment of like, I just don't feel safe, my body is like going into this fight or flight response.
Yeah, literally, because the trigger that came off of the card, which says the trigger statement, I'm under attack.
Yeah,
Trigger statement, right? But
yeah,
it's like, the theme of it is to being shielded, and it talks about the true statement, I'm strong, and it's so aligned with what you're saying. It says you will clearly see what you are taking on from outside influences and release. Your energetic boundaries are fortified. So,
that's
yeah.
awesome.
Like,
That's awesome.
hmm how that is aligning. Okay, so learning more about you and your business because you've changed your LinkedIn image since when I first did it. Because before you just had um a nature scene and it
Yeah,
didn't say very much. And so when I go to click, like I said, 'cause I don't do a whole bunch of research on the guests. But when I went to go click, I said, oh, frog medicine healing.
yeah.
So what is that? What is frog medicine healing?
That's my business that I just officially registered this past year. And
Congratulations.
thank you. And so I feel like I'm a baby spiritual entrepreneur, like,
Hmm.
Um, and
Oh,
so
but the doors are opening for you, the possibilities.
right, right.
Yes. Mhm.
So, and really what that is frog is my spirit animal, is my, or my personal power animal. And frog is all about really following your heart, coming back home to yourself. And when you do that, when you follow you get to express your soul song, or your light within you. And so that is what I'm all about, and that's what my business is all about, and that's what like what I my mission is all about.
Yes.
So that's what I have been embarking on. It's been very interesting. I mean, I feel so like I feel like it was the right time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Puerto Rico for my birthday in December, and which
Or
is
what?
my
What day? What day,
Puerto Rico.
December?
Oh, the December the 21st, which is my birthday.
Oh, okay. Mine's December 23rd.
Oh, okay, okay,
Okay. Yes.
okay.
Yes. All right. Queens are born in December. Yes.
Right, right. And I just turned I was turning 40. So my wife was like, "Where do you want to go for your 40th birthday?" I mean, like the past 2 years, 2020 and 2021, were like really difficult and challenging.
Hmm.
And like very life changing for me because I was also going through an apprenticeship at the time, like a shamanic apprenticeship at the time, learning about how to do all that work.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, when that happens and you feel the call to do that, there's a lot of initiation. There's a lot of trials in life. There's so many things that show up. It's not just like, I mean, it is big stuff. It's always big stuff, but it was like really intense. I had to deal with a lot of grief and death and like just so many things. And so, um, so when I was going to be 40, my wife was like, "Where do you want to go?" And I said, "I want to." I was like, "I don't know." So I just kind of like asked, like, "Where am I supposed to go?" I'm asking the source,
Yes.
where am I supposed to go for my birthday? And then I got never go on Facebook, and my cousin said he had an Airbnb, and I said, "Okay, that's where we're going." So I hadn't been there in like 20 years and went there. And it was really beautiful because it was like everything that I needed to heal from the past 2 years. It was like the island like helped me heal. My father's side were Puerto Rican. Um, my ancestors are from, I can connect to my ancestors there in the land. It was like the most incredible experience. It was so magical. And it really just kind of showed me like you have work to do. So I came back renewed, and I came back going, okay, like, it's time to get going. It's time to do this. It's not time to like sit down anymore, on your hands, and it's time to really get out in the field and like really start to like do your mission and really get in there. So that's what I've been doing ever since.
Girl, well, you are aligned, and they are still telling you that same thing because I went to my shaman deck, and of course, guess what came out?
Yes, I love
Shaman's
it.
death. And then it
Yeah.
says on the back, it says, initiation into shamanic work can occur when someone experiences a physical death and returns with new powers. Write about experiences where you returned from a physical or metaphorical death and resurrected into a different state of consciousness. Write about any near death experiences, whether physical or metaphorical. I trust that with any form of death, resurrection will follow. So it's like that's literally exactly what you
That's
explained.
amazing.
Yeah,
That's powerful.
what forth. And so then the other thing, even though it wasn't drawn, I was drawn to the fact that okay, frog medicine. And so then it talks about. So I have an animal deck as well. So I was like, I know that there's a card for frog. And this is what it says about a frog. It says purification, clear out the clutter. It's time to clear out and clean up. Look for any messy areas in your life and tackle them one at a time. Don't try to do it all at once or you'll be overwhelmed. Start with one corner of the room or one area of your desk, your kitchen, your closet, or dedicate a couple hours to sorting and shifting. Recycle and give away as much as you can. Believe it or not, this process can be one of the most spiritual experiences you'll ever have. Another area to clear out is your body. Drink lots of water for the next few days, and if possible, do a detoxification diet. At the least, eat a vegetarian diet and eliminate alcohol and fatty foods. See how you feel when you do it. Another cleanup job is mental. Abstain from television and newspapers for a while, and as much as possible, avoid negativity in yourself and others who tend to be negative. Clear out and clean up your spiritual practice as well. Do whatever works and help you feel closer to God, whether it's prayer, meditation, or a walk in the forest. It's simple. And then it's connected with singing, rhythm, rainmaker, and sensitivity. So
Yeah.
it's like I can see why you were so connected with, the frog, because now it's like all of that decluttering and cleaning up your mind, the whole shamanic death, and just helping you to be equipped to do what it is that you do
Yeah.
so well for others. So as you continue to now come out in 2022, what's the vision that you have, and you're starting this new business? What is the vision that you have for your business?
Oh, where do I begin with that? I want to I want to be able to help and touch as many people as I can. Um, I want to create some beautiful like value in the form of like programs and things like that that will help people. Um, and at some point, I would love to do some really beautiful like spiritual retreats and things like that. It's another
Mhm.
thing that I look forward to doing. I feel like right now I'm on the it feels really much like on the precipice. Like there's a lot of doors being opened. There's a lot of stuff that's happening. So I'm really, yeah, yeah.
Doors being open. I mean, yeah.
So I feel like whoever I'm able to help in my calling, that, that I can do whatever I can do, I always ask Doris, go as far as I can go. Like how can I do that? I'm always asking like what's the next step?
Hmm.
I'm learning in the uncertainty of things. Like, we don't always know everything with like being like here, but like when we can be still for a second, we can be okay in the uncertainty. I'm not always good at that. Um,
Uh-huh.
um, just being in flow and being like, okay, what really is the next step I'm supposed to do? And then it kind of just shows up, so
Hmm. Okay. So yeah, because the guidance is that there are definitely adjacent possibilities. There are lots of different open doors for you that can happen, but continue to maintain your work
mhm.
and keeping your eye on the vision, because it's interesting. Now I even look about this whole thing. There's again the whole shadow one, and then the light
Mhm.
one, and then this whole vision thing, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it's all of who you are. But like you said, there's going to be lots of different doors of maintaining your practice so that you don't feel as overwhelmed.
Right.
Because what happened can happen is that you get in this hallway and you're like, frick, which door am I supposed to go through? Because they're all kind of like open.
Right.
But which one's the right one that I'm supposed to go through? So continue to connect with your team with that. And then it's taking me back to, which was the very first card, was having the strategy.
Mhm.
Because the very first thing that you kind of mentioned when I asked like what's the vision for your business, it was kind of like, how do I answer this question? Think about that more.
Okay.
Like really have a strategy of what it is that you want to do, because otherwise you're going to have all these different doors that's going to open to you and you're like, which one do I go? And then you're going to kind of feel like stuck. Um and so then you got healer on, which is interesting, because I was shuffling to say who could, continue to help guide and be of wisdom. And it was all about this green.
Mhm.
But as you know, green is connected with, I'm sure you probably know, it's connected with the heart chakra.
Yes.
And so it's like, even with the adjacent possibilities, that's what's standing out for me here as well. Um, it says, honor your sensitivity, retreat, look more into the retreats.
Okay.
It's for your strategy. Retreat to recharge and heal. Your light can support others. So with the green heart chakra, and it's taking me back to the strategy. I mean, it's taking me back to the strategy, and the fact that that's something that you're wanting to look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Plan that out more, and the fact of your connection. Okay, okay, man. So in the connection, when you were talking about how you were in your tough years, what was kind of going on last 2 years, and you were like, hey, like, hey, what do you want to do? Where you want to go for your birthday? And you really didn't know. It's like there are other women that are out there that are in that same kind of position.
Yeah.
And so it's like you went on this basically kind of a retreat under the premise of it's your birthday, but it was
Yeah.
still, you know what I'm saying? It was still kind of this whole retreat in this whole healing process. And the fact that you have experience in doing that and helping women with their light and their shadow work, those who are going to be feeling as well, I'm under attack,
Mm-hmm.
that is a good door for you. And it goes back to the divine healing.
I love that.
The divine healing is what it's on there. So it's like those are just kind of some of the, when we think, keywords: the divine healing, heart, sensitivity, light, retreat, doors, open, possibilities, and then again, the world, traveling. Um, they're kind of giving you guidance on, look on that as having a strategy, and just confer with them more about that.
Okay. That really I feel like that's really kind of spot on with everything too, you know. Um in the stuff that I've been really just kind of putting out in my vortex of like what I want to manifest or what I want to I don't want to say what I want to or what I want to
Mm-hmm.
but what I'm
A
allowing
lot.
to manifest in my world, you know, and stepping into that. So,
Well, evidently, it's just another confirmation. If you were already thinking that they're encouraging you to look more um, in that direction. Hmm. Cool. So, where can people? Awesome. So, where, for those that are watching, where can people find you? Be like, yes, I want to work with Jocelyn because this is the direction I want to go in, and I definitely want to learn and stay up to date on her future retreats that she may have. Where can they reach you?
right now I'm on LinkedIn. You can is the best place to find me, and you can message me on there. I will answer you. I have an email that you can send an email to me too, which is frogmedicine@protonmail.com.
Yes.
Um, I don't have a website just quite yet. It's in the process, but it will be up soon, and then I will have that on my LinkedIn
Yes.
profile. So
Which we understand, new businesses, you're going to come and accumulate all those different things. So,
yeah.
Jocelyn, I wish you much success in your work and your life. May you live smart and ascend to new levels in those areas for yourself. Thank you so much for sharing more of you with us. And thank you for all those that are watching. This is another episode of All Intuitive Conversation. Until next week.